A Minecraft movie is terrible. I fully recommend it. Marvel audience reactions seem to have warped, so gentle minions could run, so a Minecraft movie could be a pretty bad experience if you're not expecting it. I saw this film with my partner, a friend of mine, 4 drunk dudes, and approximately 40 teenagers screaming, cheering, and generally not shutting up the entire time. But this isn't a story about how my movie-going experience was ruined. Oh no, quite the opposite. One, because it seemed to be the intended experience at View Cinemas, to have people screaming chicken jockey and so on. Like, imagine being unplugged from the internet or just not knowing the culture around Minecraft, and then this is the message you see on the screen before the movie starts. Hey, at least I gave you a heads up, because number 2, it was a lot of fun. The movie itself, though, absolute garbage. This isn't just a kid's film. This isn't just a baby film. This is the movie equivalent of Jingling Keys. Some of the jokes landed. I liked that the film was self-aware and didn't take itself seriously. I liked that the Minecraft world exists with little to no explanation, because, like, we know why we're here, they know why we're here, let's trim the fat. The film was an hour and 40 minutes long, and it felt like an hour long. The action sequences were all decently punchy and fun, and everyone performing in this film seems to have lost their mind. That is it for what I liked. And remember, for all of the criticism I'm about to levy against this film, was I entertained? Yes. Was that largely due to the culture around this film and my cinema experience? Probably. I doubt the charm will still be there upon a rewatch a year from now, but who knows? Though my experience with the film was made better by the general vibe of the cinema, that is to say, the kids cheering at your chicken jockeys and your the nevers, that shouldn't be a factor in a review whether it's positive or negative. We need to review the film on its own legs, how it stands isolated from the cultural zeitgeist. Because in all likelihood, we probably got extremely lucky with our viewing. The kids were loud, and my friend got hit with a drink lid, but that was about the extent of the chaos in my theatre. No fire alarms were pulled, no live chickens, no food being flung all over the place for the poor cinema workers to clean up. That said, let's talk about the actual film. The pace was, there was no pace. This film is like the Family Guy funny clips compilation with Subway Surfers on the side kind of movie. The beginning montage was about 5 minutes long, detailing young Steve's journey to becoming Jack Black, and it contained enough plot beats to be its own fucking movie. The film is ugly as sin in some areas, especially the Minecraft original characters. It's obvious and understandable that most of the Minecraft world shots were just going to be done on a green screen, but holy shit, you didn't have to make it this obvious. There's an entire town full of eccentric weirdos that is not only completely out of place, but also wasted, aside from one ongoing joke. Some of the characters are completely wasted, and the rest are annoying as shit. And that's probably the easiest way to break this film down. The characters. Yeah, you forgot her name too, didn't you? Don't lie. It's a shame that pretty much all of the female characters in this film could be cut and not really affect the plot that much. Danielle Brooks seems to be the biggest victim of this because her character is not only sidelined for most of the film, she seems to be a smorgasbord of motivations and relations to the other characters. She's a real estate agent, but she's also a social worker, because she's the person that Natalie calls when Henry doesn't come home from school. You don't maybe want to call the police or something, Natalie? But not only that, she's a zoo/llama keeper, and despite having enough energy to match Jack Black and Jason Momoa, she definitely wasn't allowed to cook for as long as them. She doesn't really do anything besides be good with animals and say, "Oh, what the hell?" So I don't know what else to say. She just feels like a late, last-minute addition. She has a good relationship with Dennis the Square Wolf that somehow walked around in the real world and no one fucking notices? I don't know.
Zero limit.
Natalie is also sidelined for a lot of this. Her thing is that she's growing up too fast and has to look after her younger brother Henry, and she can fight good. That's it. Emma Myers does a good job with what she's given, but the whole character is just, I gotta find/protect little bro and be good at fighting. Her and Henry's mammy passed away, and somehow they ended up with this house in this cult freak town. Her and Dawn follow Henry and Garrett into the mines. They get separated during a big fight scene, and then they try and fail to get a map to this mansion that they never end up going to. They find Jack Black's Poochie, who leads them to an unconscious Jack Black and Henry, and then they build a mushroom house despite the fact that they were already shown to be not good at building, but whatever. It's clear that Natalie was supposed to be an emotional through line for the story and for Henry, but she just ends up being a passenger on this roller coaster. Natalie and Dawn are just kind of pushed to the side and the story kind of forgets about them. And it's a shame because I feel like with a bit more fleshing out, these two could have actually done a lot of good with these characters, but they're just not given the opportunity.
Oh, brother!
I genuinely have no idea why Henry's arc is supposed to be that he's insecure because he's extremely creative. This motherfucker makes a working jetpack before he even goes into the Minecraft world. He's doing like a life drawing in the art class of his new school. It's supposed to be of an orange and a banana, and he's so cool and creative and unique that he draws a banana with a jetpack on. And the teacher comes up to him and he says with the usual plot motivation line, "You need to follow the assignment so I can stifle your creativity, yada yada." And some other kid says, "That jetpack would never work." And Henry says,
"No, it's gonna be super easy, barely an inconvenience."
And he builds a working jetpack. Yeah, a bully sabotaged it in broad fucking daylight by cutting one wire. Maybe his arc should be, you know, paying attention, but it was still a working jetpack. And I would argue that blowing up the potato mascot statue thing would have made him more popular, not ostracized. But then again, it's a cult town full of freaks. Henry is touted as this real creative dude, but the wildest thing we see him make while he's in the Minecraft world is a potato launching gun and a small castle made out of wood blocks. And these both seem kind of superfluous because, as I said earlier, and I cannot stress this enough, he made a working jetpack before even getting into the Minecraft world. Other than that though, Henry just kind of ends up like his sister, just kind of along for the ride. And he's a victim of not only the, you know, the generic misunderstanding plot because you heard your family members say one thing out of context and he runs away all sad, but also the liars revealed plot twist with our next character, Garrett.
The trash bag?
So Jason Momoa's character is like a washed up video game champion who's now struggling to make ends meet. He's like Billy Mitchell and equally as cringe. All of his jokes consist of him being overconfident and then getting immediately clowned on, beat up, or emasculated. He broke the MacGuffin orb thingy that's stopping them from going home. And the entire plot of the movie is trying to find a replacement so that they can go home. But he also feels the need to blackmail Jack Black, knowing that this is going to not only risk the lives of Dawn and Natalie, but also potentially get him stuck here, all to get himself some money for his failing, I guess, retro video game store? Unlike Billy Mitchell though, he purges himself of cringe by nobly sacrificing himself and, you know, inevitably returning because this movie, like I said, is just jingling keys, so they have to hit every cliche. He also screams like all the fucking time. He's really trying to match Jack Black's energy. Jack Black, however, isn't just loud. He also says stuff funny sometimes. Speaking of Jack Black,
I am building rocks and shit and playing fucking Minecraft.
Now, you might be wondering why I'm calling Jack Black instead of Steve, and that's because he isn't playing a character in this film. He is literally doing Jack Black stuff. If you told me this was all just an elaborate Jablinski Games video, I would believe you. So, his character is that he yearns for the mines. He doesn't fit into normal society, so he conveniently goes to this mine that's like a short walk away from his house to find two things that go together to make a MacGuffin that let him access the Minecraft world. And then he stays there and he makes friends with a wolf called Dennis, and unfortunately he and Dennis get separated when they go to the Nether because a bunch of evil gold-hungry pigs kind of corner them and attack them. Jack Black gets stuck there while his wolf runs away with the MacGuffin thing, even though, like, in the film, it's very clear that he could have also ran away, he had enough time to run away, but he didn't. But then again, how could he know? How could anyone know? Because this entire film, like I said, was shot on a green screen, and whatever. It's not until our four heroes come to the Minecraft world with the MacGuffin that he is released for some reason. I don't know why the evil pig lady releases him to get the stuff. He finds our heroes and basically acts like a tour guide and viral moment dispenser. And it's crazy to say, but there really isn't that much more to say about him. He kind of just moves the plot along and says catchphrases and catchy jingles. In the end, he decides to leave the Minecraft world and come back with the main characters, and that somehow magically fixes all of their problems, I guess. If you played D&D, you'd probably agree with me that he kind of feels like an overpowered DMPC. He just kind of comes into the story and knows everything and drives the plot forward whilst also stealing all of the limelight. Still, am I gonna sit here and lie and say he wasn't the best part of the film? Of course not, because he absolutely was the best part of the film. He quite literally carries the movie on his shoulders. Malgosha was a whatever villain. The villagers were all gross looking and terrifying. That pink sheep got ripped to shreds like a fucking Walking Dead character. Jennifer Coolidge was there. Some of her scenes were kind of funny, I guess. General Chungus deserved better. That teacher at the start was really annoying, and the Alex cameo was fine. To finish up, Chicken Jockey as an isolated joke was not funny to me, but after seeing all of the brain rot, when I met up with my friend before going to see the film, he greeted me by saying chicken jockey in jest, and I laughed. It was almost involuntary. I don't know how to feel about that. This film seems to have taken a stranglehold on our cultural zeitgeist, and certainly for me, the reaction to this movie has been the most entertaining part of it. Art is supposed to make you feel something, folks, and I personally feel fear. Remember, don't throw your food in the movie theater, you little prick. It's not funny, and you should be ashamed of yourself if you've done something like that. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Good night, everybody!